You must be tired from your journey. Here's a song for you. Sing it in battle to increase your strength. Welcome back, everybody, to Final Fantasy V. We have now learned the strength song for a bard. Yay! Now, people might remember from last time we are doing a little bit of side questing, but we were in the island of Crescent, because it is a crescent, and unfortunately, the fire ship sank, so we can't get off of this stinking island. At least not until we figure out what we're gonna do! It's almost like the plot wanted us here or something. And holy crap, I'm actually caught up to date on Final Fantasy V now. At least as far as the weekly parts. So I apologize for people who've had to be a little bit patient with me. But it's been a long road. But thankfully, getting from there to here, we're finally done. At least for the moment, we're caught up. I don't want to confuse people. No, this is not the end of the game. Not by a long shot. There's still quite a bit going on. So at this point, we need to figure out how to get off of Crescent Island, but there's only one other place to visit, which is a black chocobo forest. What's that, baby? A chocobo? 'Tis no chocobo. I'll get it. No, it is a black chocobo, and if people remember from Final Fantasy IV, they are unique. But this one we actually have to catch. I love the kooky music of the Black Chocobo. Oh, can I get him? Yay! Work! It's a Black Chocobo! But I thought they were extinct. Now fly! Go on! So now we can fly! Well, for some reason, this Black Chocobo can't fly very far. Ow. What? No go. Wait, what's this? Smack. Smack. Crystal shards. Must have been blown here from the explosion in Karnak. Yes, because the crystal shards defy physics. No wonder he couldn't fly. Alright, well, let's go ahead and pick these ones up. The spirits of these brave warriors rest in these shards. Bard and Hunter. A little dirty, but it's a crystal shard. Are you really going to criticize it? Now he'll be able to fly, baby. But can he fly to Cloud City? I love this song, actually. It's one of the few things in Final Fantasy V that I appreciate. Not only that, but the opening theme. The theme of adventure, I think is what it's called. But so now that we have the Black Chocobo, we have a means of getting off of Crescent Island. Except if people remember from the fourth game, they can only land in forested areas. Thankfully, though, this Black Chocobo has got, well, godlike powers and can actually fly around the map as long as you land him in a forested area. So thankfully, we are not anchored to Crescent Island anymore. We can go back to Cid and Mid and see if they maybe can help us out. Because they're our equivalent of the plot convenience engine. And speaking of plot convenience engine, so there is actually one more game that I've been able to play in this little absence, and I hope people don't get mad at me for this, but you know, it's one of those things where I had to pick this game up again during my off time and just appreciate it, and that was the 2015 King's Quest, Chapter 1, A Night to Remember. So I know I made the promise that I was going to play it on live stream, and I'm still planning on doing that. In fact, I might just redo it and go through a different path than maybe what I was going through. Because the way that it looks like is that you can actually... There are 3 paths that you can go down. The path of compassion, of wisdom, and of bravery. And so I basically took a separate file and played the way I wanted to play it, which was basically in between compassion and bravery. And now I can maybe go into like bravery and wisdom, because I don't know how many Let's Players are actually doing that. But before that, we are actually in Easterly Village. So this is actually another side quest. You can go to Easterly Village right now. But really what we need to do is just kind of show where it is. I'm actually looking for another village that the Black Chocobo can access. And I believe I am close to it, but I am not sure. Oh. Oh, you know what? I might actually be looking for not just a village, but my way to the Library of Ancients. Because I am lost. Yeah, it's not like that's happened before in a Final Fantasy Let's Play. Anyway, so back on to King's Quest. So I played through Chapter 1 all the way through. I'm very excited for Chapter 2, because holy crap, what a cliffhanger to end Chapter 1 on, at least from what I saw. Like I said, I kind of went the bravery, compassion route. So if people know what that is, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then, well, sorry. Go look up a Let's Play. Because I might not go the exact same route next time. I might go bravery, wisdom, then and leave compassion out. Compassion I usually go with in King's Quest because a lot of the solutions in those games have been rather compassionate. So that's why in a lot of cases when, and I actually got a little bit of criticism for this, freeing the dragon in my live stream, guys, that's, to me that looked like very much a King's Quest answer. So I don't know why you had a problem with it, but okay. By the way, we are in Rick's Village, and if people might notice, the music is kind of familiar. We've heard it from way back when, a couple of parts ago. This is actually the village where Bartz grew up. And so now we can actually do a little bit more illumination into Bartz's past and see why he is such a wanderer and doesn't like to remember his mom and his dad. And if people might have actually noticed, a familiar sprite showed up in our last part where we had the exposition dump from Galuf. And that strange one looked something like, oh, I don't know, Bartz's dad? Funniest thing about that. You used to live in this house? Bet you have a lot of memories here. Take your time and look around. And unfortunately, I'm going to need to take a quick break in between now to take care of a few things. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. I am home alone, and so I have to manage a couple of things, but... So we're looking into this music box. What the heck is it? Oh, look, another flashback. And yeah, so I was saying before, the sprite might look a little familiar as we saw him in Galuf's past. So maybe Bartz knows something we don't. You asleep? Are you leaving again soon, dear? No. I haven't had a seizure for some time now. I hope we can live together as a family forever. Oh, this is just setting up a tragic backstory, isn't it? I know, but get some sleep. You need the rest. I will, but I have one more job to do before that. I'd just like to point out that Bartz had blue hair. Must have dyed it. You're leaving again, aren't you? You were awake, huh? Going to get more bad guys? That's what I do. Okay, so his dad was kind of noble. Please take me too. No, you stay with your mother. Don't tell her where I went. Okay. Now go to sleep. Stella, you get some rest too. Stella? Oh no! Well, it looks like something may have happened. Stella! Sorry, had to be done. So it looks like somebody else is living in this house. Nice melody, isn't it? You being here brings to mind a poem. Here, this is for you and your memories. Learned Temptation Song. So this is another bard ability to charm enemies in battle. But we're not going to worry too much about that. And also there are a couple of other stories to tell in Rick's Village, so we're going to try and check them out. Bartz, it's me! Let's hang out! It'll be just like old times! Uh-huh. Okay, well, what's going on here? Ready? Okay. And we're just sitting here. For days, it looks like. Okay, so Bartz is really good at playing hide and seek. We needed to know this part of his backstory. Uh-oh. Oh, looks like he's sad. Still afraid of heights? I used to be so unassuming. Now I'm going to be a scholar. Yes, because we see that you have the sprite. Okay, so I believe that's actually all the backstory we can pull up with Rick's. So, Bart's, as you could be able to tell, Bart's used to live here. His parents used to as well. Something happened to his mom. We're guessing she was sick. And now he can't stand to live in the village. He needs to go and be a wanderer. That's cool and all. The interesting part, though, is that the dad looks somewhat familiar from Gallif's memories, so it makes you wonder, okay, why is that the case? But I guess we'll find that out. So, we're going to come back to Easterly Village, because there is some side questing here that we can get done. But first, you stop at an inn to get your rest, because you might need it. So yeah, I was talking about it before. So I finished Chapter 1, A Night to Remember, and first of all, I just love it. The Odd Gentleman, you did a great job living up to the King's Quest legacy. The voice actors that you picked, particularly Wallace Shawn and Christopher Lloyd, really great performances from them. Especially since I was kind of wondering if the Wallace Shawn character would eventually be a villain. And one of the things I loved is that they kind of called back to the Princess Bride in how he is the villain. But I don't want to spoil too much, because we will probably go back to it in the live stream, and I will be happy to do so. But if you guys haven't picked up this game and you're an adventure game fan, you are totally missing out. It's a really good ode, what's the word I'm looking for? Ode to King's Quest and the legacy that game has now. And I recommend it wholeheartedly to people. It is going to be episodic like Telltale. Oh, look at this. And this was the other side questing that we needed to do, is that the Summon Ramu is actually just to the east of Easterly Village. Appropriate. And so now we can take him on and earn him as a summon. While we're doing that, back into King's Quest. So yeah, I mean, it's episodic, kind of like Telltale, except it's the Odd Gentleman doing it, and I think they did a tremendous job with the material they had, especially since it's a sequel series somewhat. And I love it that it's from that perspective, where we can have the what we're assuming is the son and daughter, or the son of Rosella and Edgar, I think is his name. And then we also have the daughter of Alexander and Cassima. And I especially love her as a character. I really hope that in later chapters we will be able to get to play as these kids and them going off on their own adventure. Because really the only story they've had thus far is, you know, they're going to compete against each other in a tournament. And the boy, Gart, is not really happy about that, but the girl, Gwendolyn, is also hesitant about whether or not she wants to face off against Gart. She likes him. Not in that way, but, you know, she doesn't want to upset him. And I did love Graham's, you know, very comforting words to her, is that, you know, I had to go through this very similar trial, and this is how I handled it, and maybe you can handle it the same way. And I also do like the fact that it is based around choice. King's Quest is probably one of the earliest games, at least to my recollection, that hinged so much on choice from that perspective. So, granted, the choices that you had is that you could go for the simple solution and get less points, or you could find the more convoluted solution and get more points for it. But that's still a choice, you know? If you don't agree with the more convoluted choice, you can play the story however you want. Which in some cases is an interesting aspect for those games. I also like the fact that Sierra is sponsoring it, so who knows, maybe we'll actually get more. If King's Quest is more successful, maybe the Odd Gentleman would be happy to go into the Police Quest or the Space Quest series and do kind of continuations for those. Maybe they'll go into other things, like they'll work with Jane Jensen and do Gabriel Knight, or do another Torrance of Ashes. I don't know. But right now, given the way that A Night to Remember worked out, I have no problem handing King's Quest over to the Odd Gentleman. They get it. They get what that series is about, and I appreciate them wholeheartedly for it. Can't wait for Episode 2, or Chapter 2. But I guess I'm going to be waiting in the meantime. And then, just to kind of reassert, if people do not think we're going to be tackling this in the live stream, I can guarantee you we will. We probably will just go a different set of choices. Because I would also like to see, you know, what happens if you befriend other characters in the village, and how does that affect the other relationships you can have. So we'll figure that out, and that'll be a fun thing to do. Maybe we'll do that just before Chapter 2 comes out, and we'll just kind of keep a pace like that. But sadly, that's pretty much the games that I've been able to play these last couple of weeks. I've been so busy with baby and with school starting and things like that, that this is what I've been able to tackle. I know this weekend I'm going to have some free time, so I intend on taking care of that. But the other thing that's made me busy is prep for the remaining year with Drak and Shadow. Because we have some big events planned for it. Obviously, if people have noticed, pretty much every month this year has had a special Saturday Let's Play, and it's going to maintain that. In fact, right now we have Braid going on. We're going to have another Indie Spotlight. We are going to end the year on the usuals. Except with October, we are going to start 2 LPs in that time. So right now we're actually prepping one of them, and then in October, another one will go live. Oh, Ramu, your skills have improved. If only there was a way. Don't say it, Ifrit. We are friends, aren't we? And there you go. Now we have befriended Ramu and have gained his summon. So that will be helpful down the road. But just to kind of give a little bit of a hint, usually in October, Drak and Shadow will do a Castlevania game. Nothing has changed there. In fact, we're going into the 16-bit era with Super Castlevania 4. I'm really happy about that. Even though it is it's technically a remake of the first game, you can't not play it. It's probably considered one of the better games in the line. So we are going to tackle that, but one request that has happened quite a bit is whether or not we are going to start taking on horror games, and this year we are going to take on a horror game of a pop culture variety. We actually announced it earlier this year, but we were going to tackle the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise because, well, we're fans of it. We followed all of the coverage for the games, starting up from the completionists' first time completing Five Nights, Then we got interested and we actually watched the videos. We both got into Markiplier and the Five Nights community. So we're going to contribute to it a little bit. But we're also going to have a special guest. Now, I'm not going to reveal that because that's going to happen when you actually watch it. And just random villager talk. Aside from that, I'm trying to think of anything else that we have major going on this. Well, aside from we will have another Mega Man game this December, which is going to be Mega Man 4, which is kind of where a lot of Mega Man fans believe the doldrums of Mega Man start. I would tend to agree a little bit. I would actually dare say that 4 and 5 are kind of the doldrums. 6, they gained momentum. 7, they lost it a little bit. And 8, I'm actually one of the few Mega Man fans that really appreciates 8. And 9 and 10, we will probably take those on, but I've heard they are super hardcore, and I actually have never gotten around to playing them. I should have, but I don't know why I haven't. Just the way it's been going in my life right now. Oh, and what's this? A little frog. What happened here? So, the frog dropped a toad spell. Now we can learn Toad. Yay! We don't really need it, because the first time, like, here's the funniest part. After Final Fantasy III, we stopped having that whole thing of miniing yourself and going into a different dungeon. I don't know why they got rid of it. That was an interesting concept. Maybe it was just for the remake, I don't know. But I liked it. I don't know why they got rid of that kind of concept, because that makes for interesting dungeons that aren't just, you know, Palace of whatever. But yeah, so we have lots planned here, and then this holiday season we probably have a lot planned for this channel too. Obviously, we're still going to have Geek News going strong. I'm going to try and get some holiday live streams in there. I really am, because I feel like we need to get some of those in. Final Fantasy obviously is going to keep going. Plus, if people didn't notice, we still have our Let's Play of Knack, which just barely started. It's going to be going on. Oh, look, and we got the love song for the Bard, so yay! We took care of that too. Yay! And I think that pretty much cuts it in Easterly Village. I think we've covered all of the side questing elements. I might be wrong, but we'll find out. And I'm stuck. Like, come on, Drak, you know where you're going. There we go. Okay, well, something's hidden behind the waterfall. At least that's what Great-Grandma said. Okay, well, interesting. Okay, yeah, so this is going to take us out of Easterly Village, and I believe the side questing is done here, so now we just need to track down Cid and Mid at the Library of Ancients. But yeah, plenty of stuff coming. We'll have live streams. We'll probably have another LP kind of dedicated to having a webcam in there so I can have the reactions and all that. Maybe we'll get some Q&A in there. I don't know. But things are still going to happen. I apologize that things have kind of come to a standstill for the last couple of weeks, but we are going to fix that, I promise you. Starting with getting everything up to speed again. Alright, back into the Library of Ancients, and here's Cid and Mid. Oh, you're back! Professor Cid, the fire ship sunk off Crescent Island. That right? That right? No problem, we'll build another. Yeah, because it's easy like that. More importantly, we found King Tycoon! What? He was seen in Karnak. Then he went into the Desert of Sand Tides. Yes, because that exists. Sand Tides? It's a huge desert west of here where the sand flows like water. Beyond the desert is the town of Ruin, but no one can enter it. Because it's hard like that. Then how did he get in there? Beats me. That's the glorified, Those who saw him said he was floating. Floating? Father. Dar, to the sand tides! I'm going to be a sand pirate! But how are we gonna get in, baby? We'll find a way. Let's check it out. Alright, so this basically starts up the story for the next part. We're going to be going to this town of ruin because they saw King Tycoon. That's a big deal. So let's see why he's still around, even though he technically shouldn't be. We saw him die, I thought. But I'm afraid that's going to go ahead and do it for this week. So when we get back, we will go to the Desert of Sandtides and start looking for King Tycoon.